Hey everybody, welcome to Medling World. Today I'm going to answer your questions, and some of mine, about Royal Caribbean cruises. Come on in, check it out. I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. This is my vlog. I've taken over Medling World. Roberta and Jake, oh, they're here, but I'm taking over the camera tonight. Guys, originally we were planning on going to the Magic Kingdom. Unfortunately, Jake is not feeling well. It is not COVID, thank goodness. He was tested for COVID. That test is negative. So he's just not feeling well. And we didn't want to, you don't feel well, you're not going to bring your child out to a theme park. But we are planning to go to the Magic Kingdom because we hit a huge milestone on Medling World, and that's where we want to celebrate our milestone with all of you. So as soon as Jake's feeling better, we're going to get out to the Magic Kingdom and we're going to celebrate. But for tonight, let's talk about cruising. I'm here to answer questions all about our fun time on Royal Caribbean. The first question is, hey Matt, can you just check in online for the arrival time for the port when it's time to do your online check-in? And the answer to that is yes. So what you have to do first is find out if you're 30 days or 45 days before. That'll be included in the itinerary and all the information when you book your cruise, when you're able to get online on the Royal Caribbean app. And once you find that out, you can go directly that night. I got up at 12:01 a.m., went online. All you got to do is pick arrival time. You can pick your arrival time, and then you can go back to sleep and upload all your other documents later. So yes, all you have to worry about on that check-in date online is, I just want my early arrival time. Wake up, get it checked off, and you're all set to arrive. You can come back later and do everything else. Another question we had was, is the beverage package worth it? So with Royal Caribbean, just to let you know, included in the price of your cruise is water, coffee, lemonade, and unsweet tea and hot tea. And also in the morning for breakfast, juice is included in the Windjammer. You get that automatically. Now they have different beverage packages. What we purchased, because we are non-alcohol drinkers, we got what's called a refreshment package. So Roberta and I each purchased a refreshment package. We bought it pre-cruise at a discounted price of, I believe it was $22. And what that covers, guys, is any drink except alcohol, literally. You can actually get, they call mocktails. So I was drinking a Bloody Mary with no vodka, a pina colada with no rum. It includes all of those kind of drinks. It includes Red Bull. It includes Gatorade or Powerade. I think they had Powerade. It includes sparkling water. It included bottled water. It included specialty coffees. It included, again, any drink besides, I think sometimes you have to check if canned soda is included or not. I did get canned soda at dinner and it was included. So for Roberta and I, the refreshment package was worth it. It was $22. And if you have a Red Bull, a specialty coffee, and a couple bottles of water, you already hit $22. So for Roberta and I, the refreshment package was definitely worth it. It's all about your preference with that, but I do suggest getting that. It's just, if you're going to have more than 4 or 5 of those unincluded drinks throughout the course of a whole day, it'll pay for itself. And then what Jake got was called a soda package. Again, pre-cruise purchased, I believe it was $8 or $9, and that includes all soda, which is also included in the package for the refreshment. So with Jake's, it was really cool because you get a nice little tumbler mug, and they have freestyle machines, or if you're at a quick service bar or something, they can fill it up with soda. I think that was definitely a good deal for $9 a day. So, and my recommendation, if you're going to have a few of the non-included drinks, even 3 or 4, I would definitely go with the refreshment package. Absolutely. Another question we had was, do I need, on the last night of my cruise, do I need to put all my luggage outside the door so they come and pick it up, right? Are they going to come pick it up and then I got to get it in the morning at the terminal? And all of that's involved with putting your luggage out, which is very known on cruise ships on the last night. Now at Royal Caribbean, it was totally optional. Also with the Disney cruise was optional. So for us, we didn't do it because we had one large suitcase, then we had a carry-on and a backpack. That's all we had with us. And in my opinion, it makes it much quicker to get off the ship if you just carry it with you. So it's not required, it's optional. Again, for us, works great to carry it. We just get up in the morning, we bring our luggage, we have breakfast, and then we're right off the ship. We didn't have to stop anywhere and try to figure out where our luggage was. Again, totally optional, your preference. All right, I have another question. Is an inside room worth it? Matt, is the inside room worth it? Okay, there's a few ways to answer this. First of all, it really comes down to preference, but I'll give you some ideas of why we chose an inside room. First of all, for Royal Caribbean, I'm talking, it was a 3-night cruise, and for the inside room was significantly cheaper than the balcony. Like, for what we paid for the cruise, we would have had to add on almost another 40% from that inside room just to get a balcony. And for a 3-night cruise, we thought, hey, you know what? I think the savings of money for the inside room can kind of open up some more options to us. So that, in the savings of money for the inside room, we were able to get the beverage package I just talked about for all of us, the 2 refreshments and the soda, and it still didn't even equal what it would have cost for the balcony room. So I think it really comes down to preference. I know people really like inside rooms because they just like the darkness at night to go to sleep. I know other people who, I don't care if it's 3-night cruise, a 7-night cruise, I have to have a balcony. So for us, I think on a shorter cruise, I would do it again depending on how much I would save, but would I prefer a balcony? Of course. It just comes down to what you want to spend and the extra options maybe that you're saving, right? So just a personal preference, and that's it. It just comes down to your own choice. Another question, like big time, right? If you guys watched the vlogs, which I know you did, it's Medling World. Actually, before we get into this question, guys, please, if you have not had an opportunity, please subscribe to Medling World. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. We love our subs. Let's talk a little bit about the rocking ship. I guess you could say it's a question, but a lot of people ask, man, the ship seemed to be really rocking. Roberta was nauseous, a little bit sick the first night. Listen, on our cruise, that day we left Port Canaveral, there was 30-mile-an-hour winds. There was really heavy winds. And I can remember as we started getting out there a little bit in the ocean, the ship was really rocking. You'd see it in the vlogs, and it did make us a little bit uncomfortable, especially Roberta. We did have Dramamine, so I'm going to recommend taking Dramamine if you're nervous about becoming seasick. But the next day when we woke up, we all felt great. We were at Coco Key. I got to remember what cruise line I'm on, right? So we're at Coco Key. Again, very windy day. That evening as we left, the wind was still really strong, but that night the ship really didn't rock as much. So I think it's a little bit unpredictable because it's weather, right? Weather is what's going to cause that. So I just think to check the weather a few days out, which we did, so we did expect that wind. But also bring precaution, bring Dramamine. I know you can get like prescribed like patches and wristbands. There's all kinds of options. But really it was just that first night. And it was just kind of towards the end of the night. So it really didn't affect us terribly. We all kind of just went back to the cabin after we ate, we slept. And then for the rest of the cruise, even with some of that wind, it didn't really affect us as much. So the best way to answer that question is to take precaution and kind of know if you're prone to it or not. Seasickness or motion sickness, really. If you tend to go on rides at amusement parks, Disney, and you get a little nauseous on some of the rides, chances are you could get seasick. So just use precaution with it. Try to prevent it. The next question is about the main dining room. Okay, so on Royal Caribbean, you have some options with dining. They have an early dining, I believe 5:30, 5 or 5:30. Check your cruise, check your itinerary. So you have an early dining and then you have a late dining. Those are scheduled seatings. So let's just, our later dining was 8 p.m. The early one, I believe, was 5 or 5:30. So you can pick between one of those. If you pick the early or the late dining, what happens is you're assigned a table. You'll have the same wait staff throughout the entire cruise. It's reserved, right? Basically is what it is. With the My Time dining, you can kind of show up in a window of time, I believe, and it's a little bit extended. I think it went from like 5:30 to almost 9 o'clock. You could show up and eat. Now that, I never really thought about it till I was on that cruise and it got to experience how it works. It's not that bad of an idea if you can kind of put up with popular times being busier. I'm only saying that because there's a lot of different entertainment at night. And if you wanted to go to a show at 8 o'clock, but you had the reserved later dining, which started at 8, which happened to us, which was Grease, we weren't able to go and see the show Grease because we had to go to dinner at that time. So with the My Time, maybe on a night like that, we could go a little earlier, get done dinner, and then enjoy the show. It can become difficult, though, because what I noticed, we had the later dining. And as we were going in, it's kind of like a first come, first serve for My Time. So you kind of have to wait depending on your party size, things like that. If it's really busy in the dining room, you might have to wait a little while before you can get seated. So that's a disadvantage of it. But the advantage is you do have the flexibility. So again, personal preference. We did do the late, as I said, and I think it works out good for us. But we did run into a couple of the problems with the schedules of kind of entertainment we wanted. So again, personal preference. It's something you really got to think about for what works best for your family. This was a very popular question. Hey, Matt, how was the food on Royal Caribbean? And I think it was just a question in general, just talking to friends, co-workers, people, conversation, and also all of our awesome viewers out there. I know that you guys all watch the vlogs, which I hope. If you didn't, take a chance, watch the vlogs. I review tons of food. So the food on Royal Caribbean, how was it? It was average food. Now, when I say average, I'm going to kind of stick to saying average. I was funny. I read one comment cracked me up. I forgot what it was. I said something like, oh, yeah, it's average. Yeah, it's good. Right? So I'll say it was good average. How's that sound? That was pretty funny that I said that. So I'd say it's on kind of the upper end of average. How's that? One thing I did notice, though, about the food, in all seriousness, was I think the meat products. So when I say that, I mean like the beef. I had lamb one night. The chicken. Things like that were, I think, better than the seafood. I was pretty disappointed with most of the seafood I got. Because the quality of the seafood, it just kind of lacked a lot of the flavor. Now, they did have an awesome sauce, and that came with a lot of these different seafood things that I thought was really good. I don't know what it was. For all I know, it could have come out of a bottle or a jar. That was like the favorite thing I had, I think, with the seafood. One night I had like a seafood platter type thing with scallops and fish and shrimp, and it just really wasn't that great. I did have a shrimp cocktail. It was just an average. So if I was going to pick, like if there was a couple things maybe that I was in between on, my suggestion would be probably go for the meat rather than the seafood. Just my opinion through my experience. So the food was average. I think beef better than seafood. All right. What would you have done differently during your cruise? I love this question because we learned a lot on this cruise, especially with Royal Caribbean. The tons and tons of activities and shows and entertainment, all of these things that they have. One thing I would definitely do differently, guys, is I would plan my day a little bit better. We're kind of like, we would see some things that we liked, but we didn't really plan it out that great. So a lot of times we were outside enjoying some of the pool activities, the water slides, and then we'd go in and kind of change and go down and have a snack and go to bingo, and then, oh, well, now I want to go on the flow riders, and then we'd put our bathing. So we're kind of all over the place on this cruise, and what happens on a 3-night cruise is you can become tired, right? And cruising is supposed to be relaxing, and you kind of go at your own pace. You guys, if you watch our vlogs, you know we love to just go. So I think the difference with the cruises, on a shorter cruise, really plan out what you want to do, because the time goes by so quick and it's over. Not to say it's not fun, it is. 3-night cruises are great. I think they're so much fun. But definitely plan your activities accordingly so that you can really enjoy them and you're not all over the ship, all over here crazy, especially around dinner time. I mentioned earlier in the vlog, right, there was a Grease, the Broadway show, and we weren't able to go because it was just during the time we were eating. So pay attention. It's called the Cruise Compass on Royal Caribbean, and you get it each day. I should say you get it in the evening, so you can see the next day, which is great, and it's also on the app. So do a great job planning your activities and all of those things so that you're not exhausted. The second thing is, I think we'd like to do an excursion. We've never done an excursion really at all. And when I say excursion, I'm talking about at a port of call. We've been to Nassau on 2 different occasions and we never got off the ship. We just stayed on the ship. Maybe we would look into doing something in Nassau or another port of call. So we definitely want to look into some excursions to try. And plus, I think that would be awesome for the channel. So looking into some excursions. And then again, we just talked about food, right? That the food I thought was just kind of like average. So one thing I would recommend through my experience is getting an extra dining package, the specialty dining, and there's a lot of options. You can get like Chops is one of the specialty restaurants, so you can get Chops +1, which will give you 2 restaurants for specialty dining, or they have like unlimited. You can go to as many as you want. So check for your specific cruise the options you have. I definitely recommend the specialty dining because I have a feeling those restaurants are going to be a little bit better for quality of food and options. I am so happy that you joined me here tonight at home. Again, we were planning the Magic Kingdom. Unfortunately, Jake has, again, just a simple cold, negative for COVID. But the reason, I just want to explain to you, the reason why we're going to the Magic Kingdom is we have a milestone that we want to celebrate on Medling World. And to us, what is a great place for a celebration? The Magic Kingdom. Because why? It's the happiest place on earth. It's the most magical place on earth. And to me, it has the greatest energy out of any theme park I've ever been to in my life. Walking down Main Street, seeing the balloons, smelling all the awesome goodies that are cooking up in the cafes there around Main Street with the ice cream and the confectionery and the Starbucks. It's so awesome being Magic Kingdom. We have a special celebration, a milestone, and we're going to bring that to you hopefully as soon as Jake feels better, hoping this week at some point. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Just when you thought the cruising was over, Medling World gives you a little surprise. I appreciate your patience with us as we get back to the parks. And guys, last but not least, see ya!